Testing, testing, talking.
Test.
Talking. And welcome into Atrium Health Ballpark, the home of the Cannonballers, but for these two nights will be home of the Queen City Corndogs and the SCBL Baseball League. As tonight, the visiting Lake Norman Copperheads walk into K-Town, and the temporary home Queen City Corndogs, as for these two nights they will lay rest in K-Town. I'm Zane. Bound to be a great game against two teams that have been very high scoring as of late. Last couple of days, to say the least. Way to do it here at Atrium Health Ballpark, the man by way of Wingate University. And the Corndog from the 3-hole, and batting cleanup, the second base right fielder Caden House and Isaac Armstrong. Armstrong winning Player of the Week last week, and Luis Morales towards the top of average in the league, as those two guys are going to be crucial for this Copperheads lineup today.
Yeah, you're going to need to get off to war. It'll be interesting to see how what has been a draft that's been great. Sent 3 guys to the NACSB prospect games. You've got another good guy in Shane Coop, maybe making his first start, but it's kind of midfield pack in the SCBL. The Spinners and the Owls way out in front of everybody else, but there's still a battle for that 3rd spot, and having home field advantage would be big for the Corndogs if they were to face a team like the Regulators, who currently sit in 6th, is who they would currently be matched up against. Any effect on any of the players we've seen?
Norman, first pitch at 7:04. Let's get things underway in K-Town. A fastball misses outside for a ball, as the rain has stayed away, it looks like, tonight. We had a flood advisor here. And
as Morales has 9 walks, but more importantly, 21 hits out of 59 at-bats for a .356 average. He's really the do-it-all kind of guy that you would love to have on your team.
A leadoff single for Lake Norman.
What a great start that was. And as we said, Luis Morales can really pull the ball to all fields, push it to all fields, and now Isaac Armstrong looks to kind of...
And has been a staple in the early stages of that Lake Norman Copperheads lineup. He's up 1-0. And Coop has only been able to look. Third base, Luke Harris at first. We have Kalerson in right field game.
Yeah, and you really don't want to get Armstrong on base if you can. He has 13 stolen bases on the year, so he runs well out of this one, but a long fly ball back behind us.
He fouls that one off, and Armstrong definitely one of those modern-day prototype players, a very high-power guy, but also a very high strikeout guy, not a lot of walks. As Morales standing on first base, being held on by Harris. 3-2 on the way. Morales, he'll get...
You've got a guy that runs well as Morales at third base.
Take from Frelick, runs the count full.
Frelick can really kind of get the ball in play. He's been swinging the bat well late. We'll see if an adjustment really changes things for him in any way.
3-2, Frelick goes down. As he was sitting off speed there, Coop went with the fastball, and by the command, Will Gray, the second baseman tonight for Lake Norman, step into the righty's batter's box. You get another one of those guys who went to the NACSB
against Shane. Big strikeout there. We'll see if that improves.
Ball for a strike, and now Gray's down 0-2. And the Copperheads need a strike early here. We've seen many times this season waiting to the later stages of games to really get things done, and sometimes it's too late for them. Coop comes set. 0-2 on the way. Take by Gray, and that's a good 0-2 slider. So the 2 runners still in scoring position. 1-2 count. Another stone-cold take from Gray right there on the outside part of the zone.
Yeah, clearly the Copperheads are trying to be selective here a little bit early after getting those 2 runners being aggressive.
As
swinging a, almost a big opportunity here for Will Gray. Yeah, Gray really close to home plate. Allows him to really kind of crowd the zone a little bit. We'll see if that works to advantage here.
For his lunch money here.
Zone a little bit. We'll see if that works to advantage here.
For his lunch money here.
You wonder whether this will maybe affect any of his rest of his outing too, because if you're throwing a lot of pitches your first start.
Gray swings. That one's in the center field, and that will have themselves a 1-0 ball game.
From center field, but a nice catch. Went straight home with it. But unfortunately,
Yes. Just got in there by a whisker, but nonetheless, it's a 1-0 game, and that brings up Kill Ayler. Ayler, the lefty, maybe not having the summer that he's wanted, but a good chance here to impress. Been picking up as of late, though. Was at 0-1. That one skips past Pickard, and we'll see Isaac Armstrong advance to third safely. He'll move up 90.
immediately for a little while, had a pretty long break in between two games, and then hasn't played too much this season, but has made an impact when he has, and we'll see if the big stage changes some things here.
1-1. Ayler was late. And now Coop just one strike away from getting out of a really big jam. Had runners in scoring position with no outs in the inning. Allowing one would feel like a victory. 1-2 on the way. Ayler swings and fouls it off.
Yeah, and despite only having 6 hits on the year for Cale Ayler, he hasn't played too many games. He does have 4. And in a ballpark like this, if you get one into the gap, it could be a triple with the way some of these guys can run.
Very much a big outfield here in Kannapolis. And if the Corndogs can do much of the same. Welcome back into Atrium Health Ballpark on this cloudy Friday night in Kannapolis. It's a 1-0 Lake Norman Copperheads lead for Henderson, the right fielder. Boyd looks in, gets the sign from Spillman. First pitch of the night from him will be in the dirt for a ball. And the Corndogs arguably with probably the best power lineup in the SCBL this season. As that one.
Yeah, we haven't seen Carter Boyd pitch since June 28th, and when he did, it was against this Corndogs team, but he took the loss on that particular. Boyd maybe looking for a little bit of a longer outing this time.
2-1, that ball's into center field. We see Staborski coming in on it, and that will drop right in front of him for the first hit of the evening for Queen City. So much in the very same way that the Copperheads got their first hit of the night, the Corndogs do much of the same. A bloop single, and Christopher Henderson is on.
24 hits on the year now for Hendrickson in right field. The starting right fielder tonight for the Gaston College freshman. And bring up another good guy to have your top of the lineup in Trig Brown. 18-17 win against the Athletics. Had 3 for 6 on that night in the lineup for that one. And good night recently against the Spinners. Went 2 for 3 in that one. Or you can look to the one on the Disco Turkeys on June 21st, 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs. 32 on the year is Trig Browning in 14 games. So he's been playing really well for the Corndogs, and they've really picked it up recently too. Have probably been the solid third best.
Looking to run over there at first base.
Recently too. Have probably been the solid third best.
Looking to run over there at first base, catch Carter Boyd off guard. That's going to be something to watch for. And I'll bring the shortstop, Dylan Schaefer.
Yeah, Schaefer's only played 6 games.
Browning will be going. No throw from Spillman. And Schaefer went around.
Yeah, and Schaefer is in the CAA against some great programs around the area.
The 0-1 blown past Schaefer, making an 0-2 count now from Carter Boyd, and a much needed out. Working out of the windup, 0-2. And that's a good 0-2 pitch, but doesn't get. And we'll see Trick Browning stay at third base. A great throw from Staborski, and Dylan Schaefer advances to second base. The Corndogs are getting hype, and they're getting their first run of the.
Hard liner and a hard play by Staborski to make. A pretty good arm out there in center field. Last thing you want to do is limit your offense when they've been swinging the bat well so far.
As Harris was first pitch swinging, but tapped it foul. Harris sporting the number 13 this season and playing first base tonight for Queen City. So we'll have Trick Browning standing on third base and Dylan Schaefer at second. The corners of the infields will be in. That one right to Ayler, hot hands, and he'll get the catch on the line out from Harris.
Yeah, it's a real unfortunate break there for the Corndogs. Another hard hit ball. They've really been seeing the ball well off Carter Boyd's hand, but nothing to show for it yet.
Home run, 10 RBI game against the Concord.
He's made since coming back, missed a couple weeks really after injuring himself back on June 18th in a game against the Spinners. Looked like he turned his ankle, but since then he's been on fire.
No play at the plate, a 2 RBI single for Harrison Bouthalet. He's got the hot hand, don't touch him.
Now 22 RBIs on the year. This guy just keeps hitting. And since he came back in Queens University, he went 6 for 7, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, and a walk, all in that first game where those 3 homers and 10 RBIs. That time didn't try to do too much with it either, just stayed in on the ball and put it right up the middle.
As Chase Gribble, the EH, now up for Queen City, and he'll get hit in the back of the leg. Carter Boyd with some control issues here in the bottom half of the first inning will allow yet another runner on for Queen City. And we'll see Caleb Beals, the second baseman, up. As really the only out of the inning that the Copperheads have gotten is on a play with, if Ayler's not in on the corners right there, that's probably a single.
Really just a consistent approach here so far for the Corndogs. And really, even though it went unrewarded for Luke Harris, everything else has been pretty similar in the way that they've really hit the ball so far. Boyd really not fooling the Corndogs hitters too much, and this one gets by too.
It gets past Spillman, but as about easy as you can get for Harrison Booth. Carter Boyd on the bump. We do see some bullpen activity now for the Lake down that left field line. Kind of an interesting quirk here.
We saw from him, he had a great first start. Back on against the Wampus Cats out in Albemarle. Got a win on that particular night. Went 5 innings too. 5 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, and 8 strikeouts. So did a great job. Connor Welker, Cale Ayler featuring also from that program.
A couple of my buddies here to watch a game, and sitting on that left-hand side, the left field side of the ballpark, you can talk to the guys in the bullpen and have a conversation with them. Kind of something you don't.
More of an intimate feel. Maybe not as much of a high school game or maybe a college game even, but there's still an atmosphere and a chance to kind of get to see the next big stars, especially considering, you may see some more too with the White Sox. Major League club not as great. They might be trading a few of their guys like Garrett Crochet, Luis Robert. Maybe some of those prospects that they get back in those deals come to play right here in Kannapolis before they eventually get up to higher levels like the Charlotte Knights team back down in downtown, the AAA. Here's just another great one of them.
The 3-2 pitch will allow Caleb Beals to reach first base safely and will load
the hits. 2 as they didn't really have too great of a night last night, unfortunately for them, up at West
in front of them.
3 runs across and threatening for more too.
2 Welcome back into Kannapolis as we have a 4-1 ball game in favor of the Queen City Corndogs. And Joe Javier now gets the ball on the bump for Lake North against the Yari first inning and look to be kind of an innings.
He's used to throwing a lot of innings. Had some time to kind of recuperate maybe a little. Reds need on the mound to keep this game.
Stay at third base. The throw back to third, not in time. Ayler at first base. Frelick after that foul ball moves the count to 1-2. As the Queen City Corndogs trying to get some very welcomed breathing room
In the infield, so
I saying in a
like we mentioned, Isaac Armstrong. Corndogs, you still get a chance to play on a major thousand as well.
2-2. That one is skied high. 3. So the Queen City Corndogs with a massive bottom half 6. Back here after a very long first inning on both sides. A 44-minute first inning at that. It's a 6-1 Queen City lead. And we'll see Parker Staborski step his football speed right there. A former D2 football player and now a D2 baseball player reaches safely. As he was a wide receiver at Lenore Ryan, and he shows why.
Yeah, at 6'3", 195, it's a speedy guy for his size. Shows it off right there. Coming off against a pretty good performance against the A's, even though they did lose that one 15-6. Had his first home run of the year in it.
The check swing, he went around and tipped it off foul.
Yeah, for Haywood, another guy that's had quite a long hitting streak. 7 games up to this point, 42 average. A pretty good season for the Western Carolina Catamount.
3-1. A strike right there. Staborski still being held on at first base by Luke Harris. Copperheads looking to get some runs back here. It's a 6-1 game. Count runs. Was able to get out of a jam with 2 runners in scoring position. Yourself and throw. And the Copperheads with back-to-back base runners to start the top half.
Staborski beats out the throw for an infield single. This time he tried to, and you've got 2 guys on. Maybe you be aggressive and try a double steal 2 when you're down 5 runs. I wonder how aggressive they want. A good chance for the Copperheads to get.
As really much a contact guy, got that squatted stance down, a hard strike zone to throw to, but we've seen him rip some balls down the right field line, especially.
Window right in front of us.
2-1 from Coop is a swinging strike from Quan. As that's only happened to. That was the one opportunity I missed. 2-2 from Coop. Swung on by Quan. As Quan goes swinging for the active behind the dish for the Copperheads, having to block up for Carter Boyd and Joe Javier in some pressure-packed situations. And now has the bat in his hand. First pitch to Spillman. Swinging, it'll be late on the fastball.
Great time.
Just took Williams off the third base bag a little bit. Couldn't apply the tag in time. Runners on the corners for Lake Norman.
Yeah, Staborski 7.
For back-to-back innings, the Copperheads will have. Coop looks in. 0-2 to Spillman. And that one just misses the zone. A good take from the catcher. Out of play for Luke Harris at first base.
Yeah, just reaches the seats there. Fortunate break here for Spillman.
1-2 fires home. Swung on by Spillman. That's into shallow left field. And tracking back will be the shortstop shade. A good chance to help out Javier on the bump here. Still have to chip away at that 6-1 Queen City lead.
Yeah, a chance for him to kind of redeem himself. Boyd.
He does it from Caden Haywood, reaches second.
And I like the aggressiveness that the Copperheads have shown. Being down, you kind of need some of that. Be collected, but critical spot.
Another great thing about this ballpark, right in the heart of downtown Kannapolis. We've seen the, rebuilding of downtown Kannapolis. Lots of new from Boyd. The 3rd K of the day for Coop and gets himself out of yet another jam. The Copperheads leave two stranded. It's a 6-1 lead for the Dogs. Bottom two on the way here from Kannapolis. Corndogs lead. Thank you for spending your Friday evening with us, as we'll see Dylan Schaefer, the shortstop, up for Queen City. $2 PBRs, $2 corn dogs, and $2 sodas. And a great venue to watch the SCBL in, as we see Schaefer go down on K's. That's the first one of the day from Javier.
Yeah, you can see he's kind of still gingerly walking on that. Looks like his right leg there. Maybe feeling the after effects of that kind of play. Ready to charge in on the mound to try and make the play. Last inning. This is loaded. You did a good job of getting out of that first.
Looks in.